Daniel Sports Central will give a college football game preview and prediction on the big matchup coming up here in the ACC in Week 11 of this 2021 college football season. And you'll be over the NC State Wolfpack and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Huge matchup for both these teams heading into Week 11. We'll be going over a full game preview and prediction on this matchup here today, starting out with your team trends. NC State in their last game beat Florida State 28-14 on the road. Solid win. They're 7-2 heading into this matchup and currently ranked 21st in the AP poll for this week. And obviously, these rankings could be different for the College Football Playoff Committee's rankings, which are coming out on Tuesday night. This is being recorded before that, so we're going with the AP poll. And Wake Forest is currently ranked 13th in the AP poll as well. So I do expect Wake Forest. I mean, they should still be in the top 15 without a doubt. I'd be very surprised if in the College Football Playoff rankings they would be not in the top 15. And I mean, even for NC State, this team should be ranked, I would say, heading into Week 11 here. But yeah, NC State, they're 7-2, and then of course Wake Forest took their first loss of the season to North Carolina at 55-58. That was a shootout, quite a game. I mean, Wake Forest has had a lot of high-scoring games in this college football season, and I mean, of course, for example, they just beat Army 70-56 a couple weeks ago. I mean, this is a very high-powered offense here with Wake Forest, and that's really what makes this team stand out. And they're 8-1, and I would say Wake Forest, I mean, that's the best football team in the ACC right now, but I mean, this is basically a division championship in determining who goes to the ACC championship. Of course, you got Wake Forest, NC State, and Clemson at the top of the division right now, and this game is going to be very influential in which team will be representing the division in the ACC championship game here in a month. So that being said, game will be on Saturday, November 13th in Wake Forest. So in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Game time is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Spread's going Wake Forest by 2, over under 66.5. And your FPI is going to NC State 52.8%. So the spread and the FPI do disagree for this game. NC State is favored in the FPI. However, the spread is going with Wake Forest for this matchup. Series history, NC State leads at 67-41. So the Wolfpack do have a more successful history in this particular matchup. Win streak is NC State by 1, but in the last 5, Wake Forest actually leads the series 3-2. So recently, at least, it's been kind of a split series, but NC State overall does have the benefit in the overall series. Stat comparison for this game, of course, you got NC State, who's got 31 points per game, 16 points allowed, 278 passers a game, 136 rush yards, and then for yards allowed, 220 passing, 100 for rushing. And NC State, they've got Devin Leary, which if you haven't heard of him, I mean, he is a very underrated quarterback and one of the best quarterbacks, I would say, in the nation. I mean, he's put up some insane stats this college football season, and he's had a lot of success with NC State this season, and honestly, it kind of caught me off guard. I mean, Devin Leary last year he was a good quarterback, but he didn't really show any signs of having a big breakout season, which he definitely did and is in this 2021 season. And you could say the same about Sam Hartman. I mean, many people did not expect him, of all quarterbacks, to be as great as he has been. I mean, there's talk about the Heisman for Sam Hartman. So, yeah, Sam Hartman, 44 points per game. He's put up 321 passers a game, 187 rush yards, and then for points allowed per game is 27, and then yards allowed 219 passing, and then 216 for rushing. So Wake Forest's rush defense has allowed 216 yards per game, which is kind of concerning. That's a very high value there for rush yards allowed per game. But otherwise, you got two pretty high-powered offenses here. You got two great quarterbacks. I mean, this is a great ACC matchup. And even though the ACC as a conference hasn't really had any big standout teams in this college football season, it's had some great quarterbacks. I mean, you got Devin Leary and Sam Hartman, of course, and I mean, you got Sam Howell from North Carolina, who's actually been kind of a letdown. D'Eriq King was expected to be an outstanding quarterback, which, of course, he got injured, unfortunately. I mean, you got DJ Uiagalelei as well, and I'm sure there's a couple others as well that I'm missing there. I mean, there have been some great quarterbacks in this conference. You got Kenny Pickett. Don't forget about him. So, yeah, it's been a conference filled with some great quarterbacks, but, I mean, team-wise, we haven't seen many standouts, at least for the college football playoff. But recent matches for these teams here, NC State, of course, beat Florida State 28-14, beat Louisville 28-13, had that close loss to Miami. That was a tough loss, 30-31, just by 1 point there. beat Boston College 33-7, solid win, and also beat Louisiana Tech 34-27. As for Wake Forest, lost to North Carolina, beat Duke 45-7, beat Army 70-56, beat Syracuse and Louisville by close margins as well. So, I mean, many people expected, Wake Forest, I expected them to take a loss at some point. They were playing too many close games for them not to, but obviously, North Carolina, that's a football team that, the Tar Heels should be way better than where they're at right now. So, certainly that's a good football team that you guys played last week. But yeah, Wake Forest, this is a team that I would say, once again, is the most consistent team and potentially, I'd say, the best team in the ACC right now. But I'd say the winner of this game is the best team in the ACC. We'll find out by the winner of this matchup. Some key points here, of course, you got NC State, Devin Leary, one of the most underrated quarterbacks, as I stated earlier. They've played solid all season long. Lots at stake, though, for the division in this game. Basically, I think the winner of this game should be in the ACC championship game, and I'd be very surprised if the winner of this game did not make it into the ACC championship game. It's got some big implications on the line, and obviously with the season starting to close, at least the regular season part, it's lots at stake in this game here. Wake Forest, they took their first loss of the season last week to North Carolina. Sam Hartman continues to be dominant, one of the best quarterbacks in the conference for sure, and they've got one of the best offenses in the nation, I would argue, as well. Wake Forest is 8-1, ranked 13th in the AP poll. NC State is 7-2, ranked 21st. But that being said, let's get to the prediction here for NC State and Wake Forest, the big ACC matchup this weekend. I'm going to go Wake Forest in a higher scoring one, 38-34 being the final score. Wake Forest has played a lot of high-scoring games this season, and I expect this to be the same case. Wake Forest and their high-powered offense is going to put up 38 in this game. Win probability 55% towards Wake Forest. I am taking the over for this game by about 6 points. So I'm taking the over by a significant margin. I think this game, I'm pretty confident it goes over, even though NC State's defense has been good this season. If you're predicting Wake Forest to win this game, you should be taking the over if you're into betting. Wake Forest, that's a football team that should put up 30 to 40 points at least if they do win this game. I'd be very surprised if Wake Forest won in a low-scoring game. So I do have Wake Forest covering as well. The spread is 2, I believe, right now, if I'm correct. So I do have Wake Forest covering the spread as well, and I'm having them take the over as well. But once again, probability 55% towards Wake Forest. But once again, tough one to predict here. Both sides, you got two very good football teams, and NC State is very capable of winning this game. And if NC State was at home, I'd probably pick the Wolfpack right now. These two teams are that close to each other skill-wise. And, you got two great quarterbacks. So, yeah, it should be a fun one here. But let me know your thoughts and comments below on this game, and I appreciate you guys all watching. As always, stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I'll see you guys later.